Hey everyone, welcome to the Captain Drone YouTube channel. My name is Steve and this would be the brand new VR drone ready to fly kit by NewBeeDrone. Now I have to warn you, if you watch this video, you're going to want to buy this kit because, well, let me just start off and tell you exactly why. Look at this little case. It's very tiny, but in this case, you get the VR drone, you get the B-Mode V2, you get 4 Nitro Nectar batteries and the charger, and finally you get the Sky Portal FPV goggles. So now you're wondering, how the heck do you get all that in this tiny little case? But before I show you what's inside the case and how everything fits in here, let me tell you the price. Currently, as of the making of this video, which is months before the release, I was told that the price will only be $159 US. Yes, $159 US for a ready-to-fly FPV kit with everything I just mentioned. Let me show it to you. So when you open up the case, this is basically all you see. Over here, some documentation, a few accessories, and on the other side, you see the goggles and you see the remote. But where's the drone? Where's the batteries? Where's everything else? Oh, you're gonna love this. Well, it's as simple as this. Let me point this so you can see it. You pull off the front of your goggles and ta-da! Everything's right there. So you pull this whole unit out. This is your battery charger, your batteries, and your drone is over here. Let me just yank it out so everything comes out. So when you get this kit, after you pull everything out, you take your batteries one by one and you plug them in the charger right over here. So I'm just going to put all 4 batteries in just to show you how cool this is. So if I bring this close, let me show you now. Here's the drone. And all the way over here is a USB-C port. You plug in some power and it charges up all of these batteries. And I'll try to do this in reverse so you can see it. Plug it in and the batteries charge up. When the light turns green from red, the batteries are fully charged and it doesn't take that long to charge them. And the drone itself is super tiny. Check that out. And it's very well made. I like the plastic, the way it's very well molded. Now, when you get yours, you'll have black props. I have red props on mine because I changed them. And the last thing in the kit is your B-Mode. They call it a B-Mode vice a remote, but it's pretty nice. Look at that. It's rechargeable, molded plastic. It fits nice in the hands. The left joystick drops down and it does work with flight sims. So if you have any flight sims, you just plug in your USB here, plug the other end in your computer, start flying your flight sim. And for the goggles themselves, this magnetically attaches to the front section and then you go fly. Now, before I get into my full review and show you lots of video of this guy flying indoors and outdoors, let me tell you about this, the goggles and the remote. So here we go. This is a 65mm drone if you're wondering. So if you want to class it with any other drone on the market, look for 65mm drones and do comparisons. Camera up front is analog. The whole video transmission system is all analog, so you're getting an analog signal. The motors are brushed motors. Now, some people get scared with brush motors because they think, oh, brush motors, that's not very powerful and they don't last long. Well, this is pretty powerful. I flew it outside in a bit of wind and it flew quite well, so it's pretty darn decent. But yes, they are brush motors, and if you're not familiar with brush motors usually means if you own dogs or cats, you know those hairs that get all over the place? If you land someplace or crash into those hairs on your floor, they might get in the motors and then shorten the lifespan of the motors. However, if that's the case, you just buy more motors because they are plug-and-play motors. What does plug-and-play motors means? It means basically the motor comes out and you just plug in the motor. It's that simple. Now, if you're in the FPV hobby like I am, you're going to own tons of whoops that are brushed. And because of that, you're going to have lots of motors. I have lots of motors from Betaflight and other companies, and I have some here from NewBeeDrone. So when you buy this, if you're really worried about the motors, just buy extra motors. They're super inexpensive. I'll bring this close and show you what they look like. There you go. You can see them here. Usually they come 4 in a box. Same is true with the props on these little guys. If you have a lot of little tiny whoops, you're going to have a lot of props. So I have lots, and I have lots here by NewBeeDrone. You can buy extra props in different colors because the props are just push on. You know, you can pull them off and you can push them on. So if you crash with push on props, sometimes the prop goes zing, gone, and you don't know where it is. You do get spare props with the kit, but just in case you want different colored props, you can buy those off of NewBeeDrone too. So back to this guy, it has 3 flight modes and it takes you from beginner to pro. Not many drones in this price range can do that. So this has level mode. It's going to fly very level, very easy to fly for a beginner, except there's no optical flow, there's no GPS in this, so it's not going to sit perfectly still in the air. It's going to drift one way or another, and that's up to you to fly it and control it. That's all part of the FPV hobby. But the last flight mode on here is called Acro Air Mode, and that's what we use as professionals in the FPV hobby. So if you can fly this in Acro Air, you get good enough to fly this in Acro Air, You can buy those professional FPV drones. You see me flying all the time doing cool stuff. You can buy one of those and fly it. Now let's move on to the Sky Portal goggles. So blink, we pull the forward section off. The reason it comes off is because maybe you want to fly and you want to sit this down and just stare at it as if you're staring at your phone, or you want to hand it to a friend and they can watch your flight. This will work with every analog drone on the market, so it doesn't matter if you buy future drones that are analog, it will work with those drones. The benefit is it's got a built-in DVR, digital video recorder, and it even comes with the micro SD card. They include a 32 gig micro SD card with this. So when you're flying, you press this little red button on top and you record your video. All the video you're going to see in this review has all been recorded in this. I did not record the video in any other device. It was all recorded in this unit. And it is rechargeable with a USB-C on the side, and it does have an audio visual out if you have the cable. For some reason, they don't include the cable, but there is one on the side if you want to hook it up to your TV or something. Oh, and if you're wondering about the screen size, how big it is, it's 4.3 inches. And you're probably going, 4.3 inches? Well, that's pretty good size. When you stick this here and then look through the other side, which magnifies it on this side, then it's pretty big. And finally, the B mode. Once again, I said it's rechargeable. It does work with flight sims. Simply plug in your USB in the top and have it powered on, and the flight sim will work with this device. The only thing I noticed, like most kits on the market, they never label the buttons. So if you look at mine, you can see I've labeled the buttons. See on the top, I have arm motors and then level, horizon, and air mode. That's because there's two-way switches and three-way switches right at the top. All right, so that's it. Let's get on with my review. You'll see this thing flying indoors and outdoors. Here we go. This is going to be the indoor flight, and I'm going to do something in this video that I normally don't do in most videos, and that is I'm going to wear the goggles that actually came with the FPV Drone Kit. The reason I don't wear them in most videos is because I wear glasses and they don't fit over top, and when I take my glasses off, I'm blind as a bat. But with these goggles, I can squint and kind of see where I'm going, so I'm going to give it a shot. So first things first, let's power on our remote. Next, we take our drone, put in a battery, and then you connect this to the back of the battery. When you connect it, you will see a green light at the base of the drone right back there. Now on your remote, it's very important that you keep that left throttle joystick all the way to the bottom, or else your drone will not arm. Now, since we want to fly with FPV goggles and record the video, I have the goggles here. I'm just going to pull this off so I can show you everything in real time, flip it around, and I'm going to press the power button, and you'll see the NewBeeDrone logo. There it is. And then it should get the signal from my drone as I'm picking it up here. And it's looking at me as I hold it this way, looking at me, and yeah, you see the image. So we're all good. Next thing I'll do is there's a little record button up here, this red one. So I hit the record button, you'll hear a little sound. There you go. And you see the record is on the screen. So I take this unit, plop it into my goggles, take off my glasses, and we're all set. I'm gonna take the drone, I'm gonna stick it on the table facing that way. And I'll see if I can fly around the house without crashing into everything. Because it's not super clear, it's blurry, but like I said, if I squint, I can just get it just to work. All right, so I can see I'm in level mode. Switch this switch over here, arm the motors, and here we go. Going through my house nicely. Whee! So with these goggles on, I can squint and see, but if somebody ran in front of me, I would crash into them. So here I'm going to bring it back and land right in front of me. There we are. Was that pretty cool, or was that pretty cool? Now, the next thing I want to show you is configuration of this drone. There's a few cool things you can do, so let me show you. So in order for this to work, for you to see what I want to show you, I'm going to take a piece of wood and I'm going to stick it in front of the drone camera. You'll see what I'm doing in a second. I just want to keep the image in front to be black so that the writing on the screen shows up nicely in the goggles. Next, I'm going to pull this off so I can just look at it, and I see this. And I'm just going to set this down on my table. First thing I want to talk you through is if you have your drone and you crash all the time because you're not a very good pilot, there's a way to configure it so that the gyro inside sets itself to level so that when you fly again, it's nice and level. And the way you do that is you take your two joysticks, I'm just going to put them in the center here, and you pull them down out to the bottoms. So like that. Let me show you again. So in the center, then down and out at the bottoms of each corner. And if you look at your drone, I can't show you here, but if you look at the drone, there's a red light in the back of the drone. It's flashing really fast. When that stops flashing, your drone is calibrated and ready for level flight again. Now I'm going to show you how to totally screw up your drone so that it doesn't fly properly at all. Why am I showing you this? Because I'm going to show you how to get out of it and reset the settings so that anything you messed up is back to normal. Okay, I don't know if I can do this backwards, but follow along with me. This joystick here, you have to pull it that way. And this joystick here, you have to pull it all the way up. What that does is it puts you into the menu system on the drone to do configurations of the PIDs and the rates and a few other things. So let's try it. I'm going to pull this one over this way and I'm going to pull this one up. Ta-da! You see it on the screen? So using the right joystick, I can move up and down the menu to pick something I want. So say I didn't like the video channel I was on. I could pull this to the right, my joystick, and now I can pick the band, the channel, and you can see you got the frequency and the power, 25 milliwatts. I don't think it goes any higher than that. Let me just go check it. No, it stays at 25. So I'm gonna go back. Next, you have your OSD. The stuff you see on your screen, that's an OSD, on-screen display. And if I go over and select that, there we go. It says you see all these things here, the RSSI, the name, the F mode, and all these things. So you can change a lot of these things. I'm just gonna go back because I don't want to change anything. I like the way it is. Next, you can rename the flight controller. So here, it's called VR Drone. I don't know, put your own name. I could call it Captain Drone if I wanted. So let's go back. I don't want to do that. This is a dangerous one. In the FPV hobby, you have PIDs and rates. So here's your PIDs. Oops, let's go back. Here's your PIDs. You can see your pitch, your roll, your yaw. And you can see on the right-hand side, those are the PIDs that have been put into this drone so it flies smoothly. So when you move the joysticks, it responds in a certain way. If you need to increase the way it responds, increase those numbers. If you need to decrease the way it responds, decrease those numbers. So I'll hop out of that before I confuse you any further. And then you have your rates. Rates, you've heard people talk about high rates, low rates, medium rates. You know, the higher the rates are, the faster things are. So here we have your rates, and it's once again, you know, you want to increase or decrease. Those are your rates there. I'm just hopping out because I honestly don't know what each of them stand for because they're using different terminology. But say you did change your PIDs and your rates, no worries. You go down to save and exit. Pick that, and if you go all the way down here, it says reset to factory default. I'm going to select that one just in case I accidentally change something, and then I could set it back to factory and start all over and messing up my drone again. But if you knew what you were doing and you wanted to try out your savings, just go to save and exit, which was the one above it. So I'm just going to go over there to reset. And there we are, we're ready to fly again. And another thing to mention, when this little guy flies around the house, the signal from this tiny antenna in the back of the drone has to make it all the way back to this antenna here. So if there's anything in between the drone and the antenna, like my walls or a TV set or anything electronic, you will get lines on the screen. So if you've been noticing lines on the screen when I fly around the house, that's what it's caused by. So this unit is still recording. I'm just gonna put it back in the case and I'm going to leave it sit over here by the edge of the table. I'm going to take my Fat Sharks, plug them in. Now Fat Shark goggles are extremely expensive. Mine have special diopters in it for my eyesight and I can see really well, and it's super clear inside because there's a different screen for each eyeball. The reason I'm doing this is I'm just going to do one more flight and I'm going to show you how fast you can actually go in your house in level mode. So here we go, armed, taking off. Now I see perfectly, so I can whip through the house really fast. You see a lot of lines on the screen? At least I do. That's just all that interference. There we go. I'm not even going super fast. I'm just going fast. But the more you fly, the better you will become as a pilot for flying indoors. Whoa! I just hit the wall. Whoa! Everything I said about the more you fly indoors, the better of a pilot you become. That is true, but it doesn't apply to me. Our little guy is fine. He's doing well here. So next thing I want to do is take this guy outside and take it for a flight outside and show you all three flight modes. We've only seen level so far. There is another mode called Horizon. Horizon mode is identical to level, so you can fly outside. It's very level. But when I take this joystick and I move it, this right one, to the right or the left or all the way forward or backwards, the drone will go woo, and it will flip in any of those directions. So it's pretty cool, and that's Horizon mode. It's a little bit of level and a little bit of acro stuck together. And then the last mode I'll show you is air mode. That's what they call it, which is acro. And acro just means when you fly, instead of your drone flying like this, level, it flies now like this. So it goes very fast. So your nose is going to go down, you go very fast, and of course you can do all your flips and rolls and everything else. And that's what most people fly in. So when you get this drone, practice on level, then go to horizon, become really good in horizon, then get into the air acro mode, and you'll be ready for all the super expensive drones on the market. All right, let's go outside. Now it's time to take the VR drone for an outdoor flight. I'll try out all 3 flight modes, so level, horizon, and air, which is acro. The video you see is going to be recorded in the goggles, but I won't be wearing the goggles because I can't see anything through these goggles outside and I don't want to bang into somebody. So I'll be wearing my Fat Sharks for this flight. Here we go. All right, slide a battery into the drone and connect it, and we're all set. There we go. I have an image in my goggles. I doubt if you can see it, but I'll try. Anyways, could you see it down here? Someplace in there's an image. And I'll turn on the record, press the red button. All right, our little guy's down here. I have it in level mode. It's right beside me. Actually, I'm probably going to smash into myself. I'll move it over a little bit. Arm and launch. Nice. So now I should be able to smoothly bring it around, do some little S-turns, and bring it back to me. There we are. There I am outside, early morning. I probably look very bright because the sun is just beaming on me, but yeah, that's level mode. In level mode, you want it to go down your street or something. You could. It's very easy to fly. It's very well balanced. It's not going to flip over on you. There's no way you can flip it. You're just basically turning it left to right and moving it up and down. So it's very easy to fly. And let's flip it into the next one, horizon. There we are, horizon mode. This is the same as level mode, except now I can flip. So you want to get a little bit more height. And watch this, and flip it. Whoa! That was a little crazy. I didn't mean to do that, but that's what you could do. And you could do a forward flip too. There you go. There you go. If you do it properly, it's a lot smoother, like that. Nice and slow. So that's what horizon mode is, and then the last one, of course, is air mode. And this is like acro. So now you're flying like a true acro drone. The nose will point down as you move forward. Get a nice tilt, you get a lot more speed. And coming back, you can do all your acro mode stuff. Same as in horizon mode. There we go. Spin around, upside down, right side up. Oh, off the ground. Didn't want to do that. Go down your street, do a forward flip. All right, so those were the 3 flight modes outdoors. If I have a chance, I'll take it for another flight. All right, let's try another test. I'm going to fly this in my backyard because I think a lot of beginners are going to get this and they're going to fly it in their own backyard or front yard. My backyard's pretty small, so when I put this in level mode, it should fly nicely around my backyard. Let's give it a shot. And I am going to do one thing different for this flight in that I have a camera pointing at the display, the NewBeeDrone display, so you can see it. Let me just show you what I mean. So down here I have a Canon camera and the lens goes all the way out here to point at the NewBeeDrone display. So I'll power this display on, and what comes out of this display will be seen by this camera. Get my finger over here, hold down the power button, and it should say NewBeeDrone, and it should pick up the image from the quad. So now bring my camera closer and closer. Hopefully you can get the image. There we go. That's the best I can do for an image. So I'll switch back and forth to that image as we're flying here. I'm gonna hit the record button. You should see the record go on the display. There we go, you see it at the top. All right, I've got the drone in level mode, so I'll arm the motors and we'll fly around the backyard. And I just smashed into my camera and the top of my head almost, but there we go, I'm in level mode. So this is flying around my backyard. I'm gonna keep it going nice and slow because this is what I assume most people are gonna do with this quad. You know, you'll get it. It's to teach you the skills necessary to fly a real professional FPV drone. So you fly around your backyard, you miss all your trees and obstacles, and you have a grand old time. So let's come on over to me. Behind me, so the video signal is not getting a good signal because there's objects in front of that little antenna on top of the goggles there. So let's come over, and there's a better signal, and let's go in front where there's less obstacles. There we are. So you can go slow or fast, and remember I'm in level mode, and this is what you want to fly in. As you're learning, fly in level mode until you become really good, and then go in horizon mode, and then after that go in air mode. So I'll just show you what I mean here. All right, let me get my finger ready. Oh, I hit a tree. Let me get my finger ready here, and I'll switch it into the next mode, which is horizon. You can still fly around your backyard in horizon mode. Don't try this in air mode because it won't work, you'll crash. But there we go. and you can still fly around. It's waiting for you to move that right joystick all the way to the right or all the way to the left, or all the way forward or all the way backwards, and that will cause a flip. But if you don't do that, then you can fly very nicely like I'm doing here. Watch, I'll show you what I mean. I'll just take it up a little bit and I should be able to spin it really fast. Here we go. There we go, I recovered. Okay, so I'm back up in the air. So this is another good practice. If you're flying in level mode, try your landing skills. Try to keep it in the air, get close to yourself when you're really close. Turn it off and crash. All right, let me get my NewBeeDrone hat on here and pick up the quad, which is right here. And we're all good. Here, turn it around. You can see me in the display. That's filming down there. Pretty cool. I think it's a pretty good little quad to learn how to fly FPV drones. This will get you into the professional line of FPV drones. Once you master this, then you can master the next line. Now, all of this comes in a box when you buy it, so how about I show you exactly what you get in the box when you buy this. Check it out. And this is the box the VR Drone Ready to Fly kit comes in. Inside the box you'll find your hard case, and inside the hard case you'll find your entire Ready to Fly kit. First item in the kit would be your Sky Portal goggles. Inside those goggles you'll find your batteries, battery charger, and your FPV drone. The included 1S batteries have a capacity of 250 milliamp hours. The FPV goggles also come with a card showing all the bands and possible channels. Along with the FPV goggles, you also receive a 32 gig card as well as a micro SD card reader. The VR drone requires no assembly and is ready to fly right out of the box. 4 spare props are included as well as a prop removal tool. The B mode version 2 is also included, but as already mentioned, the buttons are not really labeled. Other items include a manual as well as a sticker, as well as a really good candy. And finally, if you're curious about the weight, well, the drone with the battery is only 27 grams. Now we come to the part of the video where I'm going to give you my positives and negatives. Positive number 1 is the price. At $159 US, there is nothing on the market that even comes close to this. And positive number 2 is you get 4 batteries. Not a lot of kits out there come with 4 batteries. Each of these batteries is supposed to give you 5 minutes of flight time, but I never got 5 minutes of flight time, more like 4 minutes of flight time. And the reason I never got 5 minutes of flight time is because this drone has a built-in circuit so that you don't discharge the batteries to the point where they're dead. In other words, you'll fly and you'll land at a good point when the batteries are not dead. Same as this charging unit, it won't overcharge the battery, so there's a lot of protection built in. Positive number 3, everything fits in this tiny little case. It's very small and compact. Positive number 4, this quad comes with 3 flight modes. I do not know of any other quad for the price that you pay for this where you get a drone, an FPV drone that has a beginner mode, which is level flight, all the way up to the pro acro mode. Nope, they normally don't do that. Positive number 5, you can use this with flight sims, so you can practice and practice and practice and get really good and then go out and fly your little guy. Positive number 6, this quad allows you to customize the PIDs, and you do it all within the goggles, so you don't have to hook it up to Betaflight or anything crazy like that. It's just the drone to the goggles and you're changing the PIDs and the rates. Very customizable, and it has the safety feature of going back to factory settings in case you goof something up. And positive number 7, there's a built-in DVR in the goggles, and they include the micro SD card to record your videos on. And now on to the negatives. There's always going to be negatives with any product, and I had to find some for this one, but there's not that many and they're pretty minor. So the first one, obviously, it's got brush motors. A lot of you would like brushless motors, but if they added brushless motors, it wouldn't be $159, it would be over $200. Negative number 2, the props. Since these are push-on props, lots of drones have push-on props, and every drone I've ever flown with push-on props, when you crash, you know, you might cause the props to go flying off, that impact. And when they fly off, they're very hard to find, I will tell you that. So for someone like me in the FPV hobby, I have lots and lots of spare props. Even though the kit comes with spare props, they will fly off and you will lose them. But yeah, if you lose too many, get yourself some spare props. And the final negative, negative number 3, is one that was a head scratcher for me. This beautiful set of goggles records the video of your flight if you wish. But you cannot play back the video in these goggles. For some reason, there's no feature in here to play back the video. I don't know what the heck's up with that. So for that reason, NewBeeDrone gives you this device in the kit. And I've already shown it to you on the unboxing. This device is designed that you put the micro SD card in the side and you plug either end into your computer, and then you can watch the videos on your computer. It's a micro SD card reader. So that's it. Those were the only negatives I could find. Not many. That's because this thing is pretty awesome. So it's got a lot of positives to it. So with all that said, you get an awful lot in this kit, and I'm going to put the links to it below. Go check it out and see if this is the kit for you. If you want to get in the FPV hobby, this is the kit to have for that price. Certainly, if you want to spend a lot more money, you can get much better kits, but honestly, I don't know any kit out there that's as good as this for $159 US. All right, guys, if you have questions on the VR drone, post them below and I will get back to you. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and I will catch you in a future video review with really cool products. Until then, I say bye.